Welcome to the most impromptu Land Your Bets live show of all time. It's just me and Matty right now. I'm not sure if Swish will be here. He was coding super late last night. Whenever Swish is sleeping late, it's just because he was just coding until 3 a.m. It's truly never because he was like out drinking or doing anything sick like that. So we'll see if he's able to get up and join us. But if not, I don't expect us to have quite as many people. I was talking to Matty earlier. We were just sort of chatting about the slate, and I was like, man, I don't have anything right now. I'd rather just like put out a video live, see if people jump in, talk to you back and forth more than anything, and let people watch it later, right? So this is gonna be a lot of back and forth, I imagine.
Yeah, I think this is also a good opportunity because, like you said, I don't know how many people we're going to have in here just because it's very impromptu and obviously not the exact time we do it each day. But I do think that because of those reasons, we are going to have a lot more opportunities to talk to chat specifically about what they want to look at.
Yeah, for sure. And we're gonna get some real ones in here. We're gonna get the true sickos in here that are
That's right.
like,
who cares about March Madness?
You definitely have something better to be doing on a Saturday afternoon right now. So if you are here, man, then you are truly a degenerate loyalist, and I appreciate all y'all for sure. So let me know if you guys have anything you want to look at. Me and Matty are gonna be running through the slate as one of us. So I don't know that there's any sort of a slate expertise going on because I've been looking at it for 3 hours and I'm just kind of like starting to drool out of my mouth as I'm just like, I don't know anymore. And Maddie's getting back into the slate right now. So we're going to take a look at that. Happy to talk shit about college basketball as it's going down. I'm going to be fully transparent, Maddie. Before I asked you, after I asked you to do this live, I was like, oh shit, I have a fantasy baseball draft in 23 minutes from right now. So I'm going to have that going. If anybody has any thoughts on who I should take, I already saved. It's a dynasty league, so I got Acuna in the first round already taken up. Got Jazz in the 4th, and I got Vinny Pasquanito in the 10th.
Jazz is good.
Yeah, feeling good about Jazz. Another 30-30 season for my boy. So feel free to throw anything you got. If you got some thoughts on that, I'm here with it, man. But appreciate you guys jumping in, liking the video. Lewis is here. You can't keep him away, man. Darren Peters. Look at some people I haven't seen in a little bit too, but appreciate you guys being in here. Maddie's already got some questions, some of the comments starred, so we can go through that stuff. Do you? Let's just start with what is the first game, and I know that we're all betting it. So let's just talk OKC and who are they playing? Washington. I was gonna say Brooklyn, Washington this time. And I already bet this, right? I bet Jared McCain points. Did you get this down as well?
Yeah, it's first bet I placed this morning. I took 11. Is it 10.5 or 11.5? I can't remember. 10.5. I think
it got up to 12, but I do believe it opened at 11.
Let's see what I got it. I think I got it. I like it all. I like all of those, by the way. I actually took it up to 20.
Nice.
I put 2 units on the base. The base. I'm not recommending doing this. I'm just being transparent about what I did.
Yeah, go for it.
I took 2 units on the baseline just because this might be the best McCain spot of the year.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Like completely, honestly, like I'll talk about this with Harper later. There is not a person behind McCain that I'm worried about taking his minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I grabbed this at 11.5 and I feel very good about it. And I took 15 and 20.
There we go. Go for it. We got you. You with us?
Me?
Yeah. Oh, you blacked out for a minute. Can you finish what you're saying?
I put 2 units on the 11.5 base number. I feel very good with it. I took 15 and 20 as well, obviously for much less than 2 units, but the only way this misses is the 11. I mean, him just shooting bricks. That's the only way. Like, I'll talk about the slate. I don't know if you caught this a moment ago, but there is no one behind McCain on the bench that I'm worried about taking up his time if this gets to like a 40-point game in the second quarter.
Totally.
There's someone I'm worried about a little bit later today that we can get to.
Yeah. In terms of on this team or a different game you're talking about?
A different game, but he's already been mentioned. I'll put it like that.
Right. Yeah. And I'm with you with that's the thing for McCain, like you said. Actually, I'm just gonna go to the last game. Last game they just played against Brooklyn. Pulling this up, won by 30. They were up by like 25, I think, in the first quarter. Just looking at like who would be taking minutes, there is nobody, right? Like Isaiah, he is the new Isaiah Joe almost, and Isaiah Joe is a little bit further up the bench, probably
Right.
closer to getting more minutes in normal games. But like these three are the guys that'll be getting minutes, I imagine, between Kenrich, Joe, and McCain. But McCain, like he was in the top of the second quarter in this game. I believe he might have even gotten it in the first quarter, so he's playing like normal minutes. And then he's getting all the blowout stuff. And
I
Washington's
think he
really
had 10 going into the half.
Yeah, there you go. Yep. And I only had a 10+ point bet on him because that's all I could get right before the game started. But we were pounding the table telling you guys to take Jared McCain when his props came up, and now we got him nice and early. And I think that the thing that we like that you're talking about loving the spot is that like we just saw this happen. This is the same game. This is the same spread against just as bad of a team in Washington, although Matty has declared Brooklyn the worst team now. It's you take your pick, though, of who's the worst teams in the league. They're going to be up there with them. This is a key to all of it. SGA is going to score 20 points, and as soon as he does, he's getting subbed out. Like the only reason he's playing is because they want him to be eligible for awards and first team All NBA. And the only reason he's staying out there is because he wants to keep his 20-point streak alive, where he's now number one in the history of the league with the most consecutive 20+ point games. So once he's done, he's done. And like, I don't know if you want to take other guys, I'm not going to hold you, but I think like AJ Mitchell, SGA, and Chet. And then this game we're going to have iHeart. I think all those guys are going to be guys you stay away from going any kind of overs. I would absolutely be happy to be fine betting an under on 28.5 points for Chet for SGA. Now that I'm thinking about it too, because I genuinely think he comes out within the first whistle after he scores 20. I do think he's coming out, and that might be the end of the second quarter, and maybe we see him for a few more minutes in the third. But let's put it this way: he ain't playing the fourth. Right. So if you think he can get 30 before the fourth quarter, which he absolutely could if he really wanted to, then you stay away. But I think I'm talking myself into an under on SGA. Do you have any problems with that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes a lot of sense. The only way, and I kind of talked about this in our group chat with you and Chang and Swish, is like, and this was about the Spurs specifically, but the only way that I don't see that the under of one, let me acknowledge this first.
Yeah.
It's at 28.5 on purpose for a reason.
Right.
Because people probably snipe this at opening. It probably opened around 29, 30.5.
It did.
And took the under because of what you're saying.
Exactly.
I still think 28.5 is live. The only reason I would think it might not hit is if OKC just comes out very flat. Like very flat. I mean, extraordinarily flat.
Brutally flat.
Yeah. And it forces him to have to play in that third quarter and fourth quarter.
It's a sleepy Saturday against the Wizards, to your point. I don't think that does hurt the I'm just trying to see, have they kept things close at all? There was that 13-point loss to Detroit. K got hurt in this one. Then the next game they come back and lose by 19. They lost by 18. 22. That is 22. The final answer. They only lost to the Dubs by 8. We were all kind of weird to that. In this game right here. These games right here weirded me out. Right? Orlando, Boston, Golden State. Obviously, none of those teams are taking them seriously. But that would be the fear, is that especially these two teams that are like playoff bound and one of the best teams in the league in Boston just come out flat as hell and already have Luka Garza in within the first 5 minutes of the game because they don't care.
If you want some confidence to OKC not coming out flat, I think they've lost a lot of their public persona that they might want to regrasp going into the playoffs.
Teams aren't scared of them.
Yeah, exactly.
They want to reignite that fear.
Exactly. And then for Brandon specifically, he was asking Swish this, but again, just so we're clear, Swish is probably asleep right now because it's so early. But would you take SE over first half points at 14? I think I would. I think this is actually, I think there's reason to believe that he could get 20 points in the first quarter. You and I were kind of talking about this. It's not something I'd put a unit on, but depending on what the odds are, I mean, you could probably sprinkle that and have, it's the type of high volatility play I like.
Yeah, no doubt. And just to be clear, Swish is not at the craps table. Nor is he playing roulette right now. Swish definitely, whenever Trav is not up until like 11 a.m., it's because he was legit coding the back end of the site and all the tools that we have every single night because he's a psycho. But if I was there, Lewis, that is probably where I'd be at 9:45 with a Bloody Mary. You could bet on that. All right, let's okay, this we know what we like here. I'd be staying away from starters. I think it's a fade of Shea. I like the first half look. If you can parlay, I think it was Brandon. If you can parlay Shea over 14 points with under 28.5 game points, fucking get it, dude. Love that idea. I was looking for SGA 20 plus and under 28.5, and no books would let me parlay those together. But if you can find a way to be like, he's going to score less than 28 and he's going to score more 20, then bet that for SGA tonight. I love that. Good look here on Jalen Tyson being doubtful. I'm just going to keep going through. And then we took Jared McCain. By the way, I just want to make clear, I took him to lead the game in scoring as well. You can get that for, I got it 14-1, basically. Put a little spot on it for 0.2 units to get that for Jared McCain. So I like him to lead the game again. I think it's a really similar sort of game flow to what happened in the last one with Brooklyn, right?
I think two clever bets is that one. And then when we get Jalen lines, Jalen Williams, I would also sprinkle that one. Yeah, I would also sprinkle that one because it's probably going to be like something like 30-1, and I think that's really worth it.
Well, I just want to bring him up for a minute because it's interesting. I think you're right about him. The scary thing is that he played in the last game. If it goes the same as last game, he played 14 minutes, right? And there was no fouls, there was no getting hurt. There was just like them not needing him, I guess, or whatever. But to be fair, in that game, there was no iHeart, I believe, right? iHeart sat out that one. So there's a possibility that now Jalen is even further down the bench and a guy that need play. They could also just keep playing like Brandon, whoever, who am I trying to think of?
Totally.
Barnheiser. Love saying the name Barn. Maybe they play Barnheiser. So that stuff's a little bit scary. But if Jalen comes out at a good number, like he was lying last game, like he was going to be the starter and play hella minutes, right? I think he had a 9.5 point. He originally had like a 12.5 point line and a 7 or 9.5 rebound line, and then he only played 14 minutes. Almost got there in the boards. Let's see what the boards come out of. We'll wait on that. Let's keep going because I know people have stuff. And
for Juki, I don't know that I'll be looking at iHeart to dime up in this game. This might be the type of game he actually hits his over because it's 7.5 points and he could eat in the paint.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if he's diming up this game. I think a lot of people, SJ included, I'm not saying bet overs for starters in this game, but I think a lot of the players like iHeart specifically who doesn't get a lot of the offensive action, this is a great matchup for him. It's a low line. And I would tend to think he probably wants to get his too. Yeah. I'm not sure I'll be looking for a lot of dimes in this game in particular.
Yeah, I feel that. I'm just gonna keep going through. So we had to look. Everyone's gonna ask about Jonathan Kuminga. So let's go to Kuminga for a minute. There's not gonna be that much that helps us on the dashboard, I don't think, mostly because he hasn't played, right? Yeah, there's no data for him. So the angle here,
purely FU Steve Kerr angle.
If anything, we could take an over-under one time that Jonathan Kuminga accidentally throws the ball at Steve Kerr's face or something, like pretending like he's trying to throw it off a player and then just hurls it. They do not like each other, and I think it's pretty obvious. So that's the angle that we spent like a year and a half, almost 2 years maybe, dealing with, like, is Jonathan Kuminga going to leave the Dubs? Why don't they like him? All of a sudden there's a story out that his family was taking too much food from the family room because Dubs were petty and wanted to release that as a fucking story. So there's still pettiness going on here. And I would not be betting against this man. The 13.5 is pretty fair. I guess he's been closer to 10, 11.
Yeah, it's steaming. Yeah, that thing is steaming. I think it was at 11.5 this morning.
Yeah, 14 was insane. But he got there against some fast-paced teams since he got to this team, and then the Wizards, when he got even 18 minutes against the Mavericks. Now, the Dubs are way better than those teams on defense. They're 12th in defensive rating, but maybe that doesn't matter. They're in Atlanta. Are you putting a bet on JK?
I don't think I'm doing it at 13.5. I do think he clears it, but I want to have some margin of error, and I don't here.
Yeah. No doubt.
To be clear, if I had this at 11.5, I'm betting it to 15.
Yeah.
But I don't want to bet a minus 128 at 13.5.
Would you just take 15 or 20? Or are you just kind of out?
15 is not a bad idea, especially if you want to put it in like a two-man, a two-team or something like that. Not sure I'm straight betting it though. I want low, like in this type of bet right here, like I want low stakes, high volatility.
Yeah. Let's say he plays 20, or let's give him 18 to 22, which is what I do when I'm trying to say he's going to play 20. 18 to 22 is not a great number for 13.5, man. I mean, he barely covers like 10, 11.5 in this. Let's say they do give him the minutes though. Like, and let's lean into the narrative and say he did.
I think he rested yesterday. So there's a very good chance.
There is. on the 2 games he's played with this squad, again, it's just not apples to apples. So there's nothing I'm going to show us here. By the way, we're not even trying anymore when we call him Cum Sock. Like, I guess Cum Bucket. It's like, you're not even trying anymore. You're just going all in on the daft joke. That's Juki on Saturday morning. It's 9:50 out here on the West Coast, man. Give me a second to wake up before we start talking about Cum Socks. Yeah, so you just got to go. Fuck it, he's gonna go off because it's Kuminga.
I don't even know I would bet 15, to be honest. I think I would just take it at 20.
Just take 20 plus and call it. Yeah, boards are a hustle stat too. If you wanted to do something like that, I'm not trying to get like crazy with a double, but if he decides that he's gonna like attack the rim for rebounds, he's more athletic than pretty much everybody. He's gonna try to like, maybe not Jalen Johnson. I don't know if he's more athletic, but I don't think there's anybody on the other team I'm worried about. I don't think Brandon Pajemski's meeting Kuminga at the rim. I mean, there's no KP, Draymond's doubtful. Even Quentin Post is questionable. So I don't know. Maybe it's Jonathan Kuminga trying to jump over Al Horford if he's available. Like, there's not much down low for them, and this is where you beat them for sure. So I get all that. Go, like I said, I would also just be playing like a little half unit on 20 plus or something, and I bet that's like plus 210 maybe for that. It's just still 2-1. So yeah,
I did have a thought of one other person in this game.
Sure. I just want to clarify the boards. It's gone at 4.5, Lewis. So I don't know if you can. I thought 4.5 looked good, but it was like minus 160 before we move off of him. So we were just touching on that anyway a minute ago, where it's like it's a hustle stat. I'm with it. If you wanted to add something for plus money and you want to do a like 20-6 or 20-8 rebounds kind of parlay or something like that and get a sprinkle like that, that's the type of stuff I prefer to play with Kuminga anyway. And because we already touched this game, I do like the Caruso under here. If you're buying into the blowout, Caruso played 5 minutes against Brooklyn when they just won by 31 points. So Caruso, and you can see that real quick just because we didn't mention this when we were talking about the game, because his shit is low, no question. Like 9.5 PRA is terrifying. It's 10.5 on here. Again, some 10.5s, but it's not even widely available. I'd be looking to just fade everything because the minutes aren't going to be there. And I do believe that adds up in a win-loss margin type of look. If you say they're going to win by at least like 15 points, which is conservative, then you can see on all these games, the key is not just that he's only over in 6 of 20. The key is that his minutes are down at 14.5 per game, right? 18.5 on the season, 14.5 per game. When they don't win by this much and they play good teams, he's at about 20 to 24 minutes. When they play these good teams, he could play anywhere from none to 10 to 14. So I think you fade Caruso in these games where you don't think they're going to need him because he's such a spot player for when it's a big game.
I will even add to that. I bet him and I believe SGA's under live at halftime in that Brooklyn game, and I took his number at 7.5 PRA. That man did not touch the floor again. There's no reason for it.
5 minutes.
I was joking with you in our group chat, and I just want to be very clear at how like hyperbolic I'm being, but also believe what I am saying. So I want to quote it. I literally said to Josh this morning that my man's can sit on the bench and take his headband off, and Washington will be so terrified. That's all he's got to do. He doesn't even have to touch the floor. Like there's a reason it's 9.5 at 10.5 PRA.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. He's not getting out there. He's not getting out there too much. I hope if you take it under, he plays and then just like does the same 5 minutes. It's beautiful. So,
I just got to take a second, and I just got to take my second right here.
Yeah. Take a bow. Literally, you should be bowing, as we should be applauding you. So we got CJ in here. You can finally make one too. This is my guy, able to make the live show. Not always able to make the other ones, man. So good to have y'all here. Yeah, if you're talking about Kuminga again, like I totally get it, man. That makes total sense. But yeah, my guy yesterday, dude, your presentation on the Rob Will bet was beautiful as well. I remember you were like, "This is for all my clinging haters out there." Pull up Rob Will, like you were in a rap video. That was pure fire. Loved it. All right, let's keep going. Yeah. Thank you for this is what we need. We need the humility and the honesty, because BB Kid was like, yo, I remembered this bet. I remembered you last night when I was watching Klingon, and I was like, I really hope my guy did not take the Klingon 14.5 PA under. He had like 15 points by the half, I believe. So thank you for coming back and talking about that, because he was a good look for the overs last night, obviously. Real quick, just because we were on this game, like I every time I keep looking at Gary Payton, I'm like, how does Gary Payton have a 10.5 point line? And then I look at Gary Payton and I'm like, this man has gone over in the last like 7 games. What? And he's not shooting more. 8 shots, 11 was good, 10.
The new Guy Santos right there.
Where at?
I said the new Guy Santos.
Oh, the new Guy. Yeah. Guy's because Guy's bloated, but now Gary's inflated. Because look at these lines. Well, 9.5, 9. I guess he's been at 9.5. Like, and it's crazy that he's going over because I mean, 10 shots is good, but he's just likely to take 5, 7 shots. You just gotta be careful. I know the hit rate is great, but obviously he's creeping over. And even just looking at the way that these green lines are pretty close to what his line is at. Okay. Let's see what the model says about it.
I mentioned this yesterday while you're pulling him up. And this does not just apply to Guy Santos. If you see a line where they're creeping over, but they're not like, but the hit rate is like, I don't know, last 9 of 10. Mm-hmm. Don't bet pre-game. If you want to bet that person, and I did this with Guy Santos last night, and I got him at 10.5, so I didn't sweat the 14.5 or 13.5, 14.5, whatever it was. Bet live in the first quarter at the end, between in that stoppage moment. I understand that you might miss a good line if they hit a 3 or they get a 6 or 6 points in the first quarter, but you're more likely to hit if you just take them at 9.5, 8.5s. And where Gary Payton is right now, you could probably get an 8.5 pretty quickly if he does not start hot.
Yep, absolutely. I really want to bring this up because there's so many games right now that have so much volatility with the spreads, with whether or not it's gonna be a blowout, etc. Live betting is the way at the moment for a lot of these guys. Like Guy was a perfect example last night where, and you also call it's the Guy coaster. It's a Santos roller coaster because Guy will be like, we're all, if you look at the chat, it's like, Guy's doing great. And then 10 minutes later, why is Guy on the bench? He's still on the bench. Then 5 minutes later, oh my God, Guy, 5 straight points. And it's like, you just got to wait for the end of the game before you start looking at Guy Santos in the box
score. It's a 48 minute regulation game. Yeah. And that's what these lines are best off.
Yep. And Guy will be out there if it's a close game as well. So if they keep this thing close, and I think it's only like 5.5 points, if they keep this thing close for Golden State, then you can't bank on those fourth quarter minutes for Guy. But that's a big problem with this whole slate in general, man, is the big spreads. Then you've got teams like Memphis that aren't getting blown out anymore, apparently beating Denver and only losing to Boston by like 6 or whatever. So then it's tough to be like, are they kind of back? Should we be taking the Hornets to blow out the Grizzlies? And then maybe we can bet some unders on LaMelo or overs on Kobe White. Don't even see anything there. But since I'm in this game, do you think Kalkbrenner's a play? He's just a bit high.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I haven't looked it up, but just conceptually, yes, I do.
Right, conceptually. And then here's what I looked at when I was continuing to look at the model's telling you to sell on Kalkbrenner because of the fact that this has been so low. Right, 1 game ago it was 4.5, and now it goes up 2 points the next game. It's just the buy, sell, or fair is just stocks. It's just what is the recent market for him been, and are you buying high or are you buying low? And right now at 6.5, you have to buy high. Look, you could still buy Apple stock right now. It's probably not going to go down too much. You're just going to have to buy it super high. And if you think you still have an edge for it to go up a little bit more, then you buy Apple stock. And if you think 6.5 is fair and even a little bit low because his stock should be even more on the rise right now against Memphis, who has nobody down. I did not realize how big Kalkbrenner was. I saw him play in the last game against Orlando. It's like, God damn, he's dwarfing Goga. He's dwarfing everybody out here. So yeah, he's big enough to just go up against Olivier Maxence Prosper and be able to get boards and rebounds. I just don't trust his minutes always. But if you think it's a blowout in games, I'll just pull him up right here. In games where they're winning here on PropsMadness, where they win by like, I don't know, I keep giving him like 15 when they have like a 17.5 point spread. On the PR, it looks pretty good. It's like 13.9 or whatever. If you max it out, I think it's a few more. Not head to head. Come on, Lander, do better. So I think it's okay at 11.5, but what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, this is something I'm 100% going to bet myself. I should have already put it down, but I'm going to bet this myself. I might even sprinkle a 10 and 6, nice. 10.6 rebounds just separately to the side. But yeah, I'm betting this PR bet.
Can you hear my fantasy baseball draft freaking out?
Can I hear your what?
Okay, never mind.
Exactly.
I don't have a first round pick, so I forgot that it was going on. So I'm gonna have to do it during the show. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. What's available? Talk to me.
All right. Well, right now I'm not gonna have my first round pick, but my team is named Fetty Hop.
Okay.
Because
I
last year
appreciate it.
I had the
Culture.
catcher. I had Logan O'Hop and Eric Fetty, so it's Fetty Hop.
Just don't draft Brandon Fott. So that's my only. Brandon Fott. That's my only request.
Brandon Pafadit.
I guess terrible.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
I have
put this up though.
Stephon Castle is out, so that's the reason Harper was high.
Okay.
Victor downgraded. Draymond questionable. Porzingis out. Who would have guessed?
Yeah, right. Just one more banner for you guys. Definitely like the video and all that, whatever. But if you have fantasy baseball suggestions, you can also let me know and I'll listen to them because my draft is happening right now.
Gary, I can cook for a second.
Go for it. I don't need to. Yeah, let me just look at which player I'm gonna take and then we'll get into it. What's the next one?
No, you're good.
Where do you want to go?
I'm going to pull my screen up. I got you.
Okay.
I'll let you do your thing.
Where do you want to go though? I just have my own curiosity.
No, we can stay in this game. There was a couple of questions that
Okay, cool.
I want to circle back to. I just need to get my screen up here.
Bet.
Share screen. This one. All right. Add mine to the stage. Remove, add stage. There we go. All right. So I know there was a question about Con. I'm not here to be like Memphis is going to destroy because Memphis is going to get destroyed because Memphis has been cooking. I just don't believe they're going to cook in this game. I haven't believed they're going to cook in the last couple of games, but in this particular game, I think this game matters a lot to Charlotte. Charlotte hasn't been one to be sleepy often. I don't know that I fully believe I think it's like a 17-point spread. I don't know if I believe that, but I do think this game is going to be comfortable for Memphis. I think 18.5 points for Con is very fair. And I think that's the reason we're really not seeing it pushed over that line itself. Brandon Miller is probably pretty fair at 20.5. His number probably should be closer to 21, 22.5. LaMelo under is interesting.
Yeah.
But it's not a back-to-back, and he tends to cook against these really awful teams.
Yeah.
So I think I'll stay off of that one. But to go back to Con, my worry, and I haven't looked at this, so we're going to find out together, is what happens if they do win by 17. What's his minutes? 26. That's not even looking at the model. Yeah, they're at 26.7 if they win by 17. And obviously, all of these games may have some people in, some people out. So just keep that in mind. That's just a baseline. So if we pull up Con over here, he's not taking as many shots as you want him to recently. Obviously, again, against Memphis. So just some thoughts.
Yeah. Con, I thought at first my thought with Con was like 18.5. This didn't really move in for him upward against a bad opponent. Like 18.5 is what you normally see for Con against like average or good opponents. Why is he at 18.5 against Memphis? Loses minutes in the blowout. He doesn't gain anything. It's definitely not a spot for him specifically. So trying to think if there's anybody else in that game. And then Kobe White, if he was at like 12 or 13, I don't know, 14.5. Once you get there with his points, I'm a little bit out. Thought about the assist at 3.5 if he gets legit minutes. Like I do think it makes sense that Kobe, and hopefully this is what it'll come up with what you said.
Yes, if Charlotte covers the spread, we can expect Con to lose minutes. 6.8 adjustment in blowout scenarios, which suggests that he gets pulled early during garbage time. So if the game turns into a blowout, Charlotte is leading comfortably, he likely won't see much floor time. So I'm not saying he can't cover this 18.5 point line, because he can hit 3 threes off rip and be at 9 points in the first quarter.
Yeah.
But I don't think you want to be sitting in the position of second quarter and him have 6 points and this be a 20-point game.
Yeah.
And so that's the reason like we tend to stay off of these types of bets and these types of games. I just saw an interesting one. Be like Colin Sexton over 14.5 points. See, the reason Colin Sexton is sitting at 14.5 points because the market is leaning that he is going to play more often than Con or LaMelo will in this game in particular. This number should be at like 11.5, right? Just in general. And you can see that
unless you give him the blowout minutes.
Yeah, and that's the reason you're seeing these closing lines right here.
Yeah.
So you're paying up to take Colin, but it makes more sense in this game environment, in my opinion.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, it makes more sense, but I just think it's all there for a reason. I think the market has done a good job of pricing him, of pricing Kobe for, him getting more minutes at this point. Even LaMelo, I mean, 19 and a half points. You could argue it's normally 20. I think it's 5.5 assists. Maybe it's 6.5 now, but even that you could argue is like a little bit low for him. It's 6.5, but it's juiced to the under for the 6.5 a bit. So like for LaMelo, the market kind of seems like it's hedging against LaMelo playing too much and the vice versa, right?
LOL Juki, my B. I'm talking about Kobe White. That's who I was thinking of, and that's who I was like pulling up right here, not Colin Sexton.
But what I'm saying is like both of their lines are sort of indicative that like LaMelo's a little bit low, Kobe's a little bit high. The market is taking the blowout into consideration and giving Kobe a few more minutes than LaMelo in that sense, or like a few more minutes than he normally would. And then that bumps it up. But like you have to lean into that, because to your point, like you could easily make the argument that this should still be 12.5, even if you give him the bad opponent. Like, but minutes have also been rising for Kobe, right? So is your overall point to stay away from Kobe?
No, I mean, I think it's fair. I think the market is adjusting to the right number for this particular game environment.
So it would make
I'm not rushing to bet this. There's no meat on the bone. This is the Bones Highland bet from a couple of days ago when it was 14.5 when we were on the live show. And I'm like, I like it conceptually. I understand where it's at, but there's no room for a margin of error unless you think this guy goes for 20. And I don't know that Kobe White's going for 20.
Right. Yeah.
I would have bet this number up, probably up to 13.5. 14.5 is absolutely my cutoff, in my opinion.
Yep.
Yeah, and guys, we totally understand Colin Sexton's on the Bulls. Conceptually speaking, you saw that I went immediately to Kobe White. So we no Black knew what he was talking about. I clearly knew what I was talking about. And then for Con, someone mentioned that Con's been at 18.5 for several games. I'm not saying he hasn't, but that in itself is proof that the number is not adjusted correctly, because you shouldn't have an 18.5 number versus Orlando, an 18.5 number versus Memphis, and an 18.5 number versus Miami, and an 18.5 number versus the Spurs. They're all different game environments. For the Spurs, it probably should have been 18.5, maybe even 17.5. There's a case it should have been 17.5. Miami probably should have been 18.5, 19.5. Orlando probably right around 17.5, 18.5. Memphis, I'll probably make this number closer to 17.5 because I'm pushing it under, not over.
Oh my God. Rooker got taken right before I was going to grab him.
Oh, that's tough.
God.
Diabate. 17.5 is probably not a bad number for Diabate. It's probably pretty fair. Yeah, it's up to 19.5. That's a great number. That's a great pool. Gillespie. Do you want to go to the Suns game? Do you have anything in the Suns game?
Yeah, we can go to the Suns game. Motherfucking Rooker should be on my team.
Rooker, that's tough.
Mookie Betts or Jaren Duran?
I think Mookie, right?
I think I'm going Mookie. Mookie back at shortstop. Let's go. All right. We're back.
I'll toss it back to you.
No, yeah, you keep it too. Either way, but all right. We got I got Kobe up, but we're going to which one are we looking at here? Suns and Bucks, huh? Ugh, man, that game. This is where I got the most frustrated on the slate today, man. Was what was this game? Let's pull up the projections for Phoenix for a second. This is where I started to be like, fuck it, we'll do it live. Because I was just like, everything is low for the people I want to go under. Everything is high for the people I want to go over. Like, what is happening? So if we look at this, like I was thinking Jalen Green for a minute. His number makes sense. I thought 22.5 might be a little bit low because if you pull up Jalen Green, and I'll get to Gillespie. That's my bad. I forgot you're taking me here for a reason. But if I look at Jalen Green, I was looking at the points and I'm like, motherfucker's 22.5 points against the Spurs and the Wolves. And then he's 22.5 against the Bucks also. It should be higher, but also we missed Grayson Allen. So Grayson Allen's questionable, and that's really just going to impact anything that I would answer about Gillespie too, is just like Grayson Allen's questionable. So like this is probably it's probably fair if Grayson Allen's in. Let me just pull up Gillespie real quick. My bad over here. I want to see what's fair versus what's not. Colin with 2 L's. 12.5 is to me fair without Grayson Allen. But these games are without Grayson Allen here too. And I think this one was without Grayson. Yeah, so all three of these are without Grayson. He's down at 11.5. Grayson might come back. I think it's just important to know if Grayson's going to be in or not. Let's see the three specifically. That's a lot. First of all, 4 threes is a lot for that amount of money. I know he just went off against the Spurs. Took 11, 9, 5. Like, it fluctuates. I know this is a bad squad overall. Terrible 3-point defense. I don't know how to fully feel comfortable with Gillespie's like role if Grayson Allen is available. I think Grayson was in for the Celtics game. Yeah. So he played the Celtics game. Colin Gillespie gets 23 minutes. Then he's out for the next 2 games. He plays 37 and 34. That's a huge discrepancy, right? So I can't really get there with it with him. But what do you have thoughts on Gillespie?
Oh, no, I was just laughing at Jake. Yeah, I haven't really bet the Suns all season, so I don't particularly have any thoughts on.
Yeah.
I know Milwaukee obviously suffers from catch and shoot, so if that's the angle, it makes some sense in that degree. But it's just looking at this graph alone, whether I even pull up the model, I tend to think that it's probably very overpriced. The line should probably be 2.5.
Yeah,
like minus 130.
Yep. Yeah, I feel that as well. Jalen Green threes from Juki. Yeah, I think Jalen Green has more value going in general, but man, this is gross, dude. I mean, I guess everybody's just getting bumped up because you got the third worst or second worst 3-point defense in the league, depending how you look at it. So I think that it's all makes sense to try to go over, but everything's juice high. This is kind of what I'm talking about today. Is like we're kind of at a point in the season where you got to find what we might call a safer option. I don't know. I think 3 threes is a safer option, but you lose all that juice at 2.5 is like minus 160 for the threes here. I'd rather just go for the points at that point, honestly. So, yeah. What about a buck?
A buck.
I thought Usman at 9.5 was at least intriguing, but he only took 7 shots in this last game, and this is a much better defense, which is why this is dipped back down for Usman. Let's pull him up on the dash for a second.
What's Bobby?
You rather look at Bobby?
Is Miles in?
Miles I believe is in. Yeah, Miles was in last game, which was not fun.
Yeah.
For our Bobby bets. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's tough if Miles.
Oh, that's right. I lost my 3rd round pick on Jazz. All right, I got more time. Dude, fantasy baseball is so fucking fun. I don't know. I just love it more than any other fantasy. And I don't even like baseball that much. Let's get to whatever else you guys want to look at, man. Honestly, KPJ is questionable. Maybe you like his dimes against the Suns are really, really good, man. I mean, this is the 9th best. So let me see about assists. This is the 4th best defense limiting assists. They play slow as hell, man. That's what we talk about here on the dash. Let's bring up Milwaukee for a second. See what we have for projections for these guys. So KPJ, if he's damn it, I gotta take Giannis out for this to work. God, that's annoying that it comes back up. Point is that the Suns give up the 7th fewest scoring and assist opportunities. They play really slow. They've got a good defense. They've got a good rebound. Good rebounding team. Rebounding is the spot that they're a little bit more vulnerable, but assists in a slow game versus a good defense is gonna be a little bit scary, man. So yeah, we're gonna have some baseball this year too. We're about to start working on the baseball tools and everything else that we want to have for just sort of like a summer package that we're gonna offer. So it's like if you want to come in for a really nice like reduced price for everything, we're gonna offer like baseball, some golf, probably some MMA, and the World Cup is going to be going on. So if you guys are looking for some summer stuff this season, we're going to have that announcing soon and coming out in a little bit. But let's talk about Harper.
Yeah,
I'm not married to games here. I'm just married to props. So I know this is your boy. Talk to me about Harper.
I'm curious what the line is now that Castle's officially out, because I think 12. I was kind of talking to responding to Chang about this in our group chat. 12.5 feels right if Castle's out. I wonder if this line moved.
Yeah, it did.
So it's at 13.5. It's probably it's readjusting now. I don't hate 13.5, but it's taxed.
Yeah.
Right. This is what I was talking about earlier with the Jared McCain thing, where like if this game gets to margin in the first half, I'm starting to worry, is there someone behind Dylan Harper that's going to take some of the Dylan Harper garbage time? Yeah. In this like specific example, Dylan Harper is the Isaiah Joe to the Jared McCain, in the sense that like maybe the good bet is actually Carter Bryant.
Mm-hmm. Which we definitely have,
yeah.
And I've been saying this morning that the key to me is who's Indy playing. Like all three of their best players are questionable right now between Neesmith, Nemhard, and Siakam. If none of those guys play, 17.5 is great. If all three of those guys play, I don't know that 17.5 is right. Even like they've kept it close in games a lot. This one maybe not as much. Even against Portland.
With Victor being questionable, I think that the Pacers could keep it in within margin.
Yeah.
But you have to believe Victor's sitting, which I think is possible.
Yeah.
Like this game, I won't say this game doesn't matter.
Is he?
Yeah,
he is. I'm sorry. My bad.
Yeah, it just came on. I'll run through who's questionable in this game and who just got announced out. Castle out and Victor downgraded to questionable. So I imagine he sits. Yeah, I imagine he sits. Which makes me think that the Pacers can keep this close, which makes me think, will the Pacers actually sit the players like the Pascal Siakams and the Nimhards? You see what I'm saying?
No, they would have to if Wemby's not playing.
That's my point. And so like that leans to a over on Harper then at 13.5 points.
Right. It does. It absolutely does. No Wemby, and this is a great bet. Wemby, and this might not be a bad bet. So
this is something I also mentioned too.
Both flew up.
Luke Cornett is going to be a brilliant bet today.
If we get him, yeah. Yep.
And then Jay Huff probably threes is probably a good bet today too.
Versus Luke Cornett.
Yep.
Luke Cornett, who patented the jump from the baseline when a guy's shooting a three to try to distract him, even though you know you're not going to block it. That'll be what his defense is on Jay Huff's threes today. What's Huff's minutes been at? 21, 22, 20. Yeah, so you got to bank on 20 or so for him. Zubac no longer around this season.
I want to take the 13.5 for.
I think that's smart.
Harper. I want to take the 13.5 for Harper.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Smart play.
With Victor potentially sitting, which it seems like he's going to.
Yeah.
And then I'm also going to take, if we get anything under 6.5 for Carter Bryant, I'm also going to take that.
Yep.
And then Luke Cornett, probably I want something around 5.5 points.
Yeah.
Hey guys, missed when Cornett did that. Oh, that's funny.
What's that?
I was struggling to read this, but now it makes sense.
Yeah.
There was something
Fox stuff's going up. Vassell stuff going up. So I mean, the Vassell I don't want to play at 14.5 if Wemby is available. They've hedged Vassell's bet at this point, saying like we're putting him up at 14.5. If you want to take it, you have to assume that Wemby's out, or you got to wait basically to see if Wemby's out.
This could be a good Jarris Walker under game, but I would wait until Nimhard and Pascal are rolled out.
Yeah. What are our guys? Get up to the Pacers. Where'd they go? What are our guys' assists at? Can we fade that for Jarris Walker? No, it's not 4.5. I mean 3.5. Yeah, juice, but yeah, 4.5 assists. If you ever see that, I love that for him to the under.
Fox
R. Yeah, we can look at draft real quick. Oh, I got draft real quick.
Oh yeah, I got you. Let me pull it back up. Let's see what we got for Fox RA. Y'all see this? Does this work for y'all?
If anybody has fantasy baseball advice, I shouldn't take Josh Naylor now that he's on the Mariners again, right? Like that was clear last year. And is Cody Bellinger going to bounce back or no?
Is he still in the Yankees or did he get traded?
Yeah, he's still in the Bronx.
Yeah, I'm just because of the stadium. I think Cody's going to be fine.
Yeah, he just needs to stay on the damn field. All right, I'm going Cody. I hate how many freaking Yankees I have.
There we go. All right, okay, so then Aaron Fox.
No pitching. It's fine.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. This looks good.
Who dat? Fox RA?
Yeah. There's the rebounds. Not a lot, but there's some. And then there's certainly been attempts for assists that seem to be going. His assists are up, I guess, but yeah, I think RA is probably a good look. Yeah. This is just expensive, and it's very limited. It's not widely available. This is just expensive because of Castle being out. So that's where I'd be weary. But it's a good opponent. With Castle out, you probably do get a bit of a bump. I don't know if I'm betting it though.
Hell yeah.
Do you have thoughts on that?
No, yeah, I'm with you. 11.5 is just high, so you got to pay a lot. This is a defense that specifically tries to limit assists, like we know for Indy. So I just don't think RA is the play for our guy. Once you get to 7.5 assists, that's a little bit crazy. I mean, it's wild, but I mean, as bad as this team is, they're top 15 limiting assists for the Pacers here. It's just something that they try to force. They don't give up many threes. So if Wemby's not in, 7.5 assists too for Fox is like now they got to hit threes against a good catch and shoot defense. I just don't love it. I don't think it matters who is.
This is worth bringing up. He's not lined yet, and it's definitely a bet. If this happens and this happens, then this is a good bet because he's not lined and we don't know what's going on with Nembhard. But Chang is absolutely right that if Nembhard is out and TJ's playing 20 minutes, the assists are probably a really good look. And then I'm not sure about Cam Jones. I've never bet on Cam Jones specifically, but I'll pull up TJ really quickly and I'll come back to that.
No, go for it. Yeah.
The
end point for me is just I think I got to stay away from Fox. I think people were talking about that, but maybe PA for Fox just to finish the point because I know we were talking about it a second ago.
Yeah, go ahead.
27.5 too high. Yeah, I mean, I don't think so. I mean, I think points that if Wemby's out, like 19.5 points, if you think it's gonna be at all close, it's just I'm not in a rush to take too many overs if we think that the 17.5 point spread is legit, right? And it's based on so much shit. It's based on Pascal, Nembhard, Neesmith, and now Wemby too. So I got to know what's up with that spread before I could do too much, honestly.
Yeah, totally. Nembhard assists. Yeah, if I'm sorry. TJ assists if Nembhard is out is a really, really good bet. I'm a little bit hesitant. I agree that just on average 5.5 for TJ without Nembhard is a good bet. I'm a little bit hesitant with it being the Spurs. However, then again, like Victor and Stefan not being there is a really big deal. So it's probably a good bet anyway, just because that'd be an average matchup without them too. And then if you pull up here, you can just see it's just absolute wagon. And I will filter out the boy Nimby. Just 7's the average aside from these two. And then if you look at the minutes, right at 20.6. Right on where Ching was mentioning it. And then there was something else I was going to bring up. And if for whatever reason they both sit, he brought up Cam Jones, which I've never bet Cam Jones. So let's
Cam Jones can hoop, but he's in the G League for a reason.
Assists. No Nimby, no. Yeah, I mean, there you go. Do you want it back? You available?
Yeah, for sure. Just doing a couple of things. Now that I got back-to-back picks though, so maybe
you're good. You're good.
We can keep rolling through if anybody has any other stuff too. What's up, Donald? Good to have you, brother. And Fred just showed up. I don't know if Fred's been here. All right, we got to pick real quick. I think I'm gonna take Josh Naylor again. I don't fucking care. I guess I need a catcher.
What's around your pick? Like you said, Josh Naylor. Who else?
We got Naylor. We got. I could take Langoliers because I still need a catcher.
That's a demon right there.
Is he?
Yeah, Langoliers is a demon. He was a absolute wagon at the end of last year.
Yeah, he was. He was 275, 325, 536. Pretty good. 123 games. Took a big step. Was he playing in a AAA ballpark? Is that why?
That's a good point. Yeah. That's a great point.
All right, I'm drafting you. Catcher.
That's a great point.
Gafford Wagon, Dallas. Is my screen right now? Okay, cool. I just didn't know if I was controlling.
Yeah, Bengaliers. That's right.
Gafford Wagon against Brolo. Do you have thoughts on Gaff?
I mean, yeah, I think he's a wagon. I really do. I agree with the sentiment.
Even in 25 minutes, if we
even if the opponent's right. Well, I guess against LAC is a little bit worrisome. Yeah, I think 8.5 or 7.5 is fine. I'm curious as to why it's 7.5 and plus 124. Is there someone in that I'm not realizing?
It's so hard to know that for
that spooks me a little bit. But in concept, I like it. PJ Washington at how many minutes is he playing as of recently? Maybe that's the big thing.
Let's see. PJ
30, 31, 33.
Yeah, he's getting pretty close to full.
That's probably the reason, I guess. And then just LAC playing some. slow, yeah. But in concept, I like Gafford. I think he's a good bet.
Yep. Let me see real quick. Yeah, it's been a bit higher than it's been, and then I think if you take into consideration the PJ stuff, that's probably what the model's doing too.
Yeah.
Is like looking at PJ being in and being like, it's just looking at who's around him and going, there's big minutes coming over here, so we're giving PJ a bit more, and then that takes away from Gaff basically.
Yeah, that makes sense. That tracks.
Yeah, it's hard for me to get bets down on Dallas, man, because you got to like go back and look at all this stuff. Shit, wait, I just lost. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, you're talking about Shane. Let's go. I love that it's not a lie if you believe it. First of all, wonderful name. And second of all, thank you for backing up my baseball bets for right now. Where else we at? Yeah, and just know that I totally agree. You're not going to see 30 minutes from
totally
from him. So yeah, you got to keep that in mind.
Yeah,
play the double for Gafford if that's the route you want to go. I think he's had a couple of those recently. We were just looking at. So the boards. My God, though, 24 points in 22 minutes for Daniel Gafford shooting all twos with 7 free throws is bonkers. I don't know.
PR is interesting to me.
Double is really good.
PR is very interesting to me. I find PR very intriguing.
PR at 16.5, another beatable number.
Yeah, I think that's probably a really, really great bet.
He's been doubling this.
Like let's give him the cap of 23 minutes.
Stop doing dumb shit. Minutes.
Give him a cap of 23 minutes, like 18 to 23.
Yeah, we'll go 19, 23. It's not bad, man. I mean, it's not an ideal defense. I guess Brolo, and I don't even know who's backing up. Who is backing him up now? I guess they probably just go with like John Collins.
Yeah.
Oh, Isaiah Jackson. Yeah. They go with.
I'm hitting that.
Isaiah Jackson.
I'm taking that while it's there.
Yeah.
I think that's a great bet.
It's not bad.
Because I 7.5 might be a little tricky. Which I think 7.5 is beatable for the rebounds, but the points and the rebounds at 16.5, I think that's a miracle.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I'm with it. I don't have quite as much for Dallas, so I'm not necessarily gonna be in there with that one as much. But yeah, so I right, just to be clear for me right now, I've just got I just got the Jared McCain bet, and I've just got I'm gonna probably end up playing a SGA under here in a minute on the 28.5 points, because I just think that's where they're at. Anywhere else you want to go for a minute, Matty? I'm gonna have to dip in just a few minutes.
I'm not going to take the Gafford because it's bumped already on Hard Rock to 18.5. So I'm staying away.
That's big difference.
Yeah. So 16.5 was the right number. Anywhere else I want to go? Is that what you asked?
Yeah. Just not anything that I really like, man, right now. But I appreciate you guys sharing your bets too. Hoping that everybody who watches this later is also checking out the comments so you can see what we're talking about here. Honestly, my guy, this is kind of where I'm at. But I do think I like the SGA under. Like somehow the game I feel best about is Washington OKC. So that's kind of where I'm at, man. Then
Ching,
we can watch the college hoop and drink today.
Ching, I need a center update for Utah. What centers are available for Utah? Or what's the projection?
Well, while you're in that game, people want to know about your boy Justin Edwards for his 30 piece last time out.
I will get to that in a second. We might have something here. Might have a soft line.
Darius on the threes. Oh, I'm not going to go under on his threes. I can't get there with the Garland under.
11.5. Oh no! Wait. No, okay. I was on the wrong tab. I was like 11.5 points for Kyle Filipowski is absurd. Yeah. But it was RA. I was on the RA tab somehow.
Yeah, that would be crazy if you were getting that.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, I'm hitting that for sure. You said Edwards?
Yeah, there was a question about Justin. I think he's up to 14 or 14.5 now.
I'm just hesitant to bet on players who the market adjusted so quickly. That's my concern. I'm not saying it's not possible. It's Utah.
Yeah.
But holy smokes, it's an adjustment. Yeah, look, pull him up on the model.
Yeah.
And just look at the lack of the delta that we want.
Sorry, go over here. My bad. I'm all over the
Are you
place.
good?
Justin Edwards. Yeah. Yeah, it's moved up to where his expected is starting to live at, right? That's what we're saying.
Yeah, that's why I'm scared of it.
Yeah.
14.5, there, like, you have a literal half a point of meat on the bone left, in my opinion. And I don't know that's where I want to be.
Yep. Oh boy. My bad, because I think I'm gonna draft. Am I taking Nick Pivetta? Is it fool's gold from his season last year? He had 19
I don't
quality
recall.
starts.
I feel like he was pretty inconsistent last year, right?
No, last year was finally his good year. I mean, he had a 2.87, 19 quality starts. He got to 181 innings, not like an inning eater necessarily.
Maybe I was just betting on him at the wrong time, because I feel like I bet against him once, and I was like, oh no.
You were betting in game stuff, yeah.
And then like he very next game he like absolutely like played terribly.
That adds up.
I'll probably just hit him in the wrong like stretch.
Yeah. I need a pitcher at some point. All right.
And I like to say, but it's Utah as an excuse to want to bet something, but I usually have a bit more of more than half a point of a margin. So that's what's going to keep me off Edwards, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is it right here. Right here. The best price is gone.
Yep. That's fair. I actually have to roll. Okay. I know that sucks because some of y'all just got here, but we can at least touch the Lakers real quick.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna have anything for the Lakers on that side. Did you like anything for LA? Did you get to look at them yet?
Let me see who are they playing.
I think Reeves is questionable. You got to keep that in mind.
I might go to this game. It's in Orlando. Let me find out. I didn't know.
Oh,
I might have to get on the.
You wanna? I'm gonna pull you up on stage real quick.
Okay. Yeah. Let me move this thing over
just to see what we got going on here.
I can have a better presentation. I didn't know they were playing in Orlando tonight. Let's see here. So what was the question about Luka boards? Okay, we'll start there. That's usually a pretty good one. 8.5. Touch higher than where I would want it to be. I like this at 7.5. It's a better opponent than recent. So probably a stay away from me. He probably gets it. Fair odds on it, but I'll probably make it like plus 110, not plus 100. Yeah, I think 8.5 is pretty fair.
I know. It's like you got to look at 13.5 is crazy. If Reeves is out, it's not a bad bet. Like against Orlando, like it's just
a lot of guesstimating.
It's a lot of points.
7.5. If you think Reeves is out, it's probably good for Rui. Actually, yeah. I know it's good for Rui. I tend to think 32.5 versus Orlando might be a good bet. That like sucks to say.
I know.
But just conceptually speaking, the way Orlando defends, they're going to let him take 48 shots by himself and just defend everyone else.
Yep.
I just don't want to bet at 32.5 is the only thing.
Nobody should want to.
De Silva? Silver's kind of interesting, but you're a point higher than where I'd want it to be. Let's see. Assists for. How's Jalen been assisting recently? It's kind of down. Market's adjusted to it. Yeah, I don't know. Luka's probably the only thing I'd be looking at, and I don't really love taking him at 32.5 points personally.
Yeah. Same.
It's probably the only thing I'd be looking at in the game.
Yeah.
Anything else? LeBron assists if Reeves out. Yeah, if Reeves is out, that makes some sense. Can't disagree with that. I mean, it's maybe 6 is the right number. LeBron. Yeah, 6 is probably the right number for actually for LeBron. So I don't know that good there. It's probably indicative of AR sitting more than it is a good number. Yeah, I think Luka's probably the best bet, and it's not even a good bet in this game. Paolo points is expensive at 23.5. We talked about this in office hours the other night. This number probably should be around 21.5, 20.5 if you actually want to have a good edge and bet it. Now watch him go for 30 tonight, just because I said that. But I will show you the reason I believe what I believe. Right there. If this line is, 2 points down, you actually have a delta you can believe in and a little bit of margin of error. Right now, you just have a very efficient line. So that would keep me off Paolo by itself. Also, I think that I wonder what the pace would look like here for Paolo and slow like pace up spots.
Yeah, I mean, we were getting Paolo at like 20, 21.5. I mean, he smoked the Lakers in that game for 36, which is a big reason for probably why we're seeing what we're seeing. Just
I think this is a very high line. What's his rebounds at? How did he do rebounding last time? Got 46. I am very tempted to just take the under on 32.5 PR. I ain't gonna lie.
I get that.
I don't know if I'm brave enough to do it, but that's where my head's at.
It's high, but I mean, I don't hate Paolo for sure. Yeah.
PA for Paolo? Is he a facilitator? Well, I mean, there's some. Yeah. I'll probably ignore the points and just take the dimes if you believe that, because like there is a bit of an edge for the dimes. I mean, we're seeing a sell spot because the market's adjusting, but you're at 5.93 on a 5.5 line. I don't hate it, but
yeah.
Again, you just got to consider the pace of play.
Yeah, that's probably all I'm gonna have for this one.
Yeah,
definitely got to roll.
I agree.
Be a dad for a bit. Finish this draft. I appreciate you guys jumping in. I know we did this super impromptu. Still had a pretty good turnout for a Saturday morning on the West Coast. So much love for everybody, man. Go ahead and give the video a like on your way out. I'm probably not gonna have a video for tomorrow. Slate, not positive. But either way, we'll be back next week, and then we'll have our lives. We're gonna have one on Monday. Got a big 10-game slate, so we'll be back for that as well. If
Get
nothing else,
VIP.
What's that?
For office hours tomorrow? Get the dang VIP for office hours. Yeah.
Thank you for letting me remind me. Yep, I got the banner right here. If y'all want to come in tomorrow to the VIP, we got some free trials and everything up on the site. So if you want to check that out, we're gonna have the Discord going tomorrow with the office hours with Matty. I think about 1 p.m. my time, 4 p.m. on the East Coast. So thank you for a reminder. So we'll be back with that for tomorrow. Like I said, likely not a video, but we'll get some content out for you guys. So best of luck today, man, and especially with those March Madness brackets. And talk to y'all soon. Best of luck and happy betting. Shit, I'm on the draft.